My boyfriend called me ugly in front of his friends and dumped me at a restaurant. Let me tell you a story that still makes my blood boil a little every time I think about it. So I had been with this guy, Ryan, for 2 years. Two. Not 2 weeks, not 2 months. 2 full years of movie nights, family events, weird inside jokes, and that one time we tried couples yoga and looked like tangled furniture. We weren't perfect, but who is? I thought we were solid. I mean, we were even talking about moving in together this summer. Ryan had some annoying habits, sure. He left his socks in every corner of the apartment like they were Easter eggs, couldn't put his phone down during movies, and he loved to give me helpful tips about my appearance. Stuff like, that top makes your arms look kind of big, or, have you ever thought about getting bangs? I used to laugh it off and call it honesty. Past me was so damn naive. Anyway, fast forward to last Friday. Ryan texts me and says he wants me to come to dinner with some of his coworkers. Now, this was weird. He never included me in his work life. Always said it wasn't professional. So, of course, I thought maybe this was a big deal. Maybe he wanted to show me off. Maybe this was his way of leveling up the relationship. I went all out. I mean, full glam. YouTube makeup tutorial levels of effort. The fancy straightener came out, the one I only use for weddings and interviews. I even bought a new dress that totally wrecked my budget. But I didn't care. I wanted to look amazing. I get to the restaurant, one of those super fancy places downtown with no prices on the menu and portions the size of spoonfuls. Red flag number 1. Ryan's already there with his work buddies, Leonard and Pablo. And immediately, the vibe is weird. He barely even looks at me, just mutters, "You're late," and sits back down. I was literally 2 minutes late because parking was a nightmare. I sit down and he looks me up and down and goes, "Oh, you wore that?" Like I showed up in a clown suit or something. His friends exchanged that look, you know the one. My stomach dropped. For the record, I was wearing a dark blue dress that made me feel like a 10 that morning. Suddenly, I felt like a 0. I tried to brush it off, asked if there was a dress code I missed. He shrugged and told me they'd already ordered appetizers. Cool. Real warm welcome. The next hour was him and his friends talking about work. And I mean, talking like I wasn't even there. When I tried to join in, Ryan would talk over me or explain why I was wrong, like he was my professor or something. At one point, I mentioned something that happened at my store, and he just goes, "She doesn't really understand how things work in the real business world." Waved me off like I was a kid interrupting the adults. I'd been managing that store for 3 years. It didn't stop there. Leonard asked how we met, and I started to tell the story, how his coworker Vanessa, who also happens to be my best friend, introduced us. And mid-sentence, Ryan just cuts me off and says, "Yeah, Vanessa felt bad for her. I was doing a favor, really," and laughs. My stomach hit the floor. That is not how it happened. Vanessa literally warned me about his ego, but said he was a good guy underneath. Spoiler alert, he was not. I excused myself to the bathroom because I could feel the tears threatening. In the stall, I texted Vanessa, like, "WTF is happening right now?" And as I'm wiping mascara from my cheeks, I see a notification. Ryan tagged himself at the restaurant on Instagram. Caption, "Boys' night out." Like I wasn't even there. I was invisible. Vanessa called me immediately, but I sent her to voicemail. I didn't want to be sobbing into the phone while these guys were out there talking about how many shares their PowerPoint got. I splashed some water on my face, fixed my makeup as best I could, and gave myself the saddest little pep talk in the mirror. Just get through dinner. That's it. Dignity. I come back to the table, and they're laughing about something, but the second I sit down, silence. Amazing. Then our food comes. I ordered pasta, the cheapest thing I could find, because I was already stressing about the price. Ryan looks at my plate and goes, "Carb loading for a marathon?" And follows that with, "That's a bold choice for someone with your body type." I wasn't even eating at that point, just stirring noodles and counting the seconds until I could leave. Then Pablo brings up a presentation at work, And Ryan launches into this whole story about how he basically saved the project, how his boss loved him, and how he's basically running the show now. Which is hilarious, because just a week earlier, he was panicking about how he only had 5 minutes to talk and didn't even understand the slides. It was like I was watching a live performance of Ryan's fantasy life. Finally, the check comes. The waiter sets it down and Ryan grabs it, looks at it, and then just slides it across the table to me. I thought he was just showing me the total, but then he hits me with this gem. I don't think this is working. I stare at him, waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one. He goes, I've been trying to make this work, but I'm just not attracted to you anymore. I think we should break up. In front of his friends, in the middle of this restaurant, I was in shock. Like, this couldn't be real. And then the cherry on top? As he stands up to leave, he goes, a girl like you should be grateful I even dated you. And then they left. All three of them, laughing. I was stuck with a $347 bill and a waiter who looked like he wanted to hug me out of pity. I paid with my nearly maxed out credit card and made it to my car before I broke down. Called Vanessa, sobbing so hard she couldn't understand me. She came straight over to my place with wine and ice cream and basically held me together. But it wasn't over. Because Vanessa started asking about what Ryan said about work, and her face got real serious. Turns out, Ryan isn't some rising star in the marketing world. He's not about to get promoted. He's an assistant. He gets coffee and books meeting rooms. That big presentation? He was the guy clicking through the slides. I felt like a fool. 2 years of believing his BS. And then it got even messier. That night, after Vanessa left, I went full detective mode. Scrolled back through our texts, photos, everything. The lies were everywhere. Times he said he was working late, but his location showed he was across town. Money stuff that didn't add up. Stories that suddenly felt a little too polished. And then, at 3 a.m., I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hey, it's Cody from Ryan's office. Vanessa gave me your number. There's some stuff you should know. I stared at that text for like 5 full minutes. Cody turned out to be the real MVP. He told me that not only was Ryan lying about his job, but he was also on thin ice at work. He was apparently on probation for trying to pass off someone else's work as his own. Those business trips? Total fiction. That big presentation? He was literally just clicking through the slides while someone else spoke. Cody also said Ryan had been telling people he dumped me because I was needy and obsessed with marriage. Which is funny, because Ryan was the one who had a whole Pinterest board labeled future home ideas. And yes, he said it was for work. Things took another weird turn when Ryan's mom, Tina, called me. She was sweet, like always, and just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Apparently, Ryan told his family we had a small fight and were working through it. Then she asked if I was still coming to his birthday dinner. Because get this, he told them we had big news to share. I almost dropped my phone. This man, who humiliated me in public and left me to pay a $300+ bill, was still pretending we were together? At first, I thought I'd just ghost the whole thing. But then I looked at Vanessa and she said, he wants a show? Let's give him one. We planned everything. Cody agreed to drop by with some urgent work papers at just the right moment. I pulled together every piece of proof I had, texts, screenshots, even a photo Ryan once posted of a fake work event that was clearly pulled from Google. The day of the dinner, I was a mess. Nervous, nauseous, second-guessing everything. But I showed up. I wore the same black dress Ryan once said made me look too average. Funny, because I got compliments on it every time I wore it. Ryan didn't expect me to actually come. The look on his face when I walked in, priceless. He tried to steer me away for a private talk, but I smiled and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, I wouldn't miss your big announcement for anything. His mom clapped. His sister gave me a suspicious side eye. His dad started cracking jokes about grandkids. Ryan was sweating bullets. Then Cody showed up. He had a folder in hand, all professional, and Ryan tried to shoo him away. But his dad was like, we're all family. Do it here. Cody sat down right next to me because I saved him a seat and slowly started dismantling Ryan's fantasy life. When Ryan's dad asked about that big project Ryan supposedly led, Cody clarified that their boss did the actual presenting. Ryan just assisted. When Kayla, Ryan's sister, asked about his title, Cody hesitated. Then he looked at me. I gave him the smallest nod. Ryan's an admin assistant in marketing, he said. You could hear a pin drop. His grandma went, Kayla muttered, knew it. And then the dam broke. Everyone started asking questions. What about the team he said he managed? The promotion? The business dinners? The corporate card? Lies. All of it. Ryan kept trying to laugh it off, change the subject. Then I leaned in and said, Oh, by the way, remember that dinner last week with Leonard and Pablo? I turned to his mom. It was interesting. That's when I told them everything. How he insulted me all night, how he called me ugly, how he dumped me in front of his friends and stuck me with the bill. He tried to interrupt, but his dad shot him a look that made him shut right up. And Cody? Cody backed me up, even pulled out his phone and showed texts from Pablo confirming everything. Ryan lost it. Said I was playing victim, said Cody was betraying him, said we were all jealous of his success. He stormed out. Again. Only this time, nobody followed him. We had cake. Without him. After dinner, his family thanked me. His mom apologized over and over. His sister helped me clean up. His dad looked like a man whose illusions had just shattered. But Ryan wasn't done. Over the next few days, he spiraled. He sent unhinged texts, posted rants online about betrayal and snakes, even showed up at my apartment building and caused a scene in the lobby. The building manager had to threaten to call the cops. The worst part? He shared my address in a private message to Pablo saying I needed to be taught a lesson. Thankfully, Pablo forwarded it to Tina, who immediately called me and came over with Kayla. We sat around my kitchen table, me, his mom, his sister, and Cody, trying to figure out what to do with this man-child having a meltdown because he got caught. Security had to escort him off the property. He kept pounding on my door, yelling that I'd ruined his life. I blocked every number, every burner account. I was done. Ryan lost his job not long after, stopped showing up, sent inappropriate emails, burned every bridge. He ended up moving in with his uncle out of state. I ran into him at Target a couple months later. He looked rough. We made eye contact. He turned around and walked out, leaving his basket behind. And that's that. I'm okay now. Better than okay, actually. I've got my space back, my peace. I still hang out with Cody sometimes. Nothing romantic. But he's good people. Vanessa's been my rock through it all. Looking back, yeah, I'm angry. But I'm also weirdly grateful. Because if I hadn't seen Ryan's true colors when I did, who knows how far it would have gone. So if someone ever tells you that you should feel lucky to be with them, nah. They should feel lucky to have you. End of story.